Good afternoon, everyone. It's Saturday, and I believe it's the 13th. And I'm back with part 5 of Mr. Links Jones' so-called accident that was reported almost 2 weeks ago by our local authorities in the Bahamas as an accident. We found out the next day, thanks to that gentleman up there called Mr. Lincoln Bain, who is a former police officer who did his own investigation with regards to what happened that day. So I'm here sounding the alarm. I'm sounding the alarm against corruption, career politician, and corruption will say on, in this case, that happened about almost 14 days ago. I'm also going to show you today, because I couldn't find this on my last feed in part 4, where Mr. Bain came on live to show us the evidence to corroborate that something was a bit off about what's happening with Mr. Links' case, Mr. Links Jones' case. And so I'm here to reinforce that information. It's already public knowledge. It's been almost 2 weeks past, and I'm going to show you what Mr. Bain found out that day, which was actually the next day he came in, as soon as he actually came in the same day, when he heard the horrific accident that took the life of Mr. Links Jones, a member and a citizen of West Grand Bahama, a father, a husband, an uncle, a grandpa, a grandpa, a supporter, a strong executive supporter, executive member of the Coalition of Independence. So I couldn't find this last week, so I figured I will come on now and show you exactly what he found. And I'm going to compare, because we're still waiting for a real press conference by the police. I'm going to show you how America does it. Regardless, we're not a third world country in the Bahamas. Okay, and we're tired of these rogue police who feels that they can make a report like they did without even doing due diligence. And that's, I think, what have me with this matter, and why I'm so upset, because we're still waiting. We're still waiting almost 2 weeks later for any proper press conference, any investigation by the local police to tell us. But it's too late, because Mr. Bain has just reported it the next day. The next day, literally, within 24 hours, he was able to attain footages with Mr. Jones at a bar. And what happened, you're going to see that today, and I'm going to reinforce that. And you need to share this information, okay? Because 14 days later, still the police ain't give us no clue to what happened. If it wasn't for this man here, the leader of the Coalition of Independence, who did a diligent investigation on the scene before all the evidence were naturally taken away by natural recurrences, because skid marks on the road will not last forever on the road. Skid marks in the grass, or speed marks in the grass, whether accidental or intentional setup, will disappear. He has the pictures, he has the videos, he has the trunk scene, he has how Mr. Jones was brutally murdered, and it was set up in a way to make us believe, the general public, that it was just an accident. But what's more egregious right now is the police never came back and did a serious press conference to say why this resident, is it because they feel that he's not important? They feel because he's a Bahamian that you don't come back to the general public 14 days later to tell us, okay, this is our finding. No. Mr. Bain did it. He did it within less than 24 hours. And I'm going to regurgitate that. So I want everybody to please share this information. We'll start with Mr. Bain speaking first. Days later, as a matter of fact, it was less than 48 hours later. They literally waited for the police to do a proper report. That was never forthcoming. Okay, that was never forthcoming. And this is how things are done to local Bahamian good citizen, good men of the Bahamas. It gets swept under the rug like they're not important. And we know this isn't the first incident. But because this man had strong ties with a third political party, yes, who have a right to run for office, and who have a right to campaign, who have a right to speak up the injustice that are happening in his hometown, Grand Bahama, West Grand Bahama. So let's just listen to what Mr. Bain is saying and his findings that happened in less than 48 hours. And we're still waiting for the local authorities in Grand Bahama to come forth and say something. What? It can take y'all a whole freaking month. So the family can't put his body at rest because the investigation is ongoing. Because what? How long? Why? People are asking these questions. All right? We live like 30 minutes from the United States. There was a recent assassination. Kirk, his name, Mr. Kirk, an activist, political, supported Trump. Shoot down. The police found him. The incident, I think, happened maybe Wednesday. I can't remember the dates. But all I know is I see the reports and I see the urgency in the police, on the authorities. I mean, the FBI came together with the sheriff, town sheriff, with the commissioner, with the candidate that's running in that constituency, the community, Facebook, TikTok. Everybody came together and they found the assassin in less than 48 hours. But in the Bahamas, we're still waiting. We're still waiting because what? He's not important. Yes, he was a Facebook advocate, person who advocacy for his country. So what? He didn't have 1 million people. So what? So that means his life is not important. Authority and political parties like the FNM and PLP in the Bahamas, y'all did it to your own. And I'm going to regurgitate Obie Wilshcombe. He died. That's a forgotten one. Y'all put his face on the wall. Dawn Johnson on the FNM shot in the head. Dead. Oh, that's another accident happened. What else have y'all covered up in the Bahamas? What else? And the community of the Bahamas are good people, and they do not deserve the service that you give to a good citizen of the Bahamas that you have done. The police should be ashamed of themselves and how they are handling this case with no urgency. That means in the United States, someone just got assassinated, Mr. Kirk. His assassin was apprehended in less than 48 hours. Okay, 3 days. But in the Bahamas, a political supporter for the third party got killed, and we're still waiting 14 days later for more evidence, more than what you're about to see that was discovered by Mr. Lincoln Bain under the Coalition of Independence. Yes, a former police officer served 10 years in the Royal Police, a police officer. All right. So here, let's just listen to what he has to say, and thank God for Facebook and other medias where we can get our information out. But this is an injustice, and this information needs to be shared everywhere. Still waiting 2 weeks later. No urgent report. After you see the evidence, you can say, well, who got arrested for it? Where are the perpetrators? You're going to have to ask yourself, and if you don't see there's something wrong in our society, we all got a problem.
That it was still a part of an investigation. And so we went to the car thinking that we came there to collect the car. And so there was some misunderstanding there. And as we actually did go there, and we did go in the vehicles. Again, it was just in a parking lot in the back of Central, and we had no idea that they were still investigating anything. So what we saw when we went in that vehicle, that they were still investigating anything. So what we saw when we went in that vehicle was shocking to us. The accident happened, we believe, Friday night or Saturday morning, and this was Wednesday that we went there. And what's so shocking about that is that after watching my live, telling me that you turned it over to information over to CID, by Wednesday you still did not dust the car for fingerprints or do anything. It appears that they didn't even go back in that car. Everyone knows, I mean, who watch TV, that the first 48 hours are important. The first 48 is important. And this was now Wednesday, and nothing that we could see had been done. They can correct that if I'm wrong. But when we went to the car, again, the car was kept in a slack way because there's nothing telling anyone to not come in the back there or anything. You can't read your mind.
Slack.
And when we went to the car and we opened the door, we saw that the amount of blood in the car was not synonymous with someone getting in a bad accident, bleeding out, and dying. There was very little blood in the vehicle. And that was disturbing. So again, it was disturbing to me that, one, you could come on that scene and see that the injuries were to the back of the head. And we're going to show you that in a minute. To the back of the head. And you would say it's just an accident to the media. And then we're concerned that when you open the car and see a body in the car and not really any blood, that isn't suspicious to you. There was a small bit of blood on the passenger side. I mean, it's small. Like, you would get more blood than that if you cut your finger. And then there's what appears to be blood in the trunk of the car. We'll get to all of that.
Please show this.
And so, you got to go to the other file, the first file. Yeah, go to the other file and I'll tell you which one you should play. Go to the other file and go to passenger side. Go to passenger side and let that video play. Hopefully they can hear me while it's playing so I could walk them through it.
And then in the seat somewhere.
Yeah, as you can see, there's just a small little tidbit of blood on the doors. A small tidbit.
Spare
That's
tire.
Can you pause the video right there so I can explain that? Okay. That tire was out of the trunk and on the grass. The tire was out of the trunk and on the grass at the accident scene. Also, the covering of the cover that goes over the tire, which is the floor of the trunk, was outside and on the grass. And so the record driver, which is normal, they take debris from the scene and put it in the car when it's a write-off like that, and they just carry everything in the car. They don't like to leave the debris of the scene. So what he did was, because it was closed and they couldn't open it to put the tire back in there, they just took the tire and put it right there in the front seat. And they did the same thing with the covering. All right? And so that's...
Okay, this is a live feed Mr. Bain did sometime Sunday, and he's explaining in details his investigation because he is a former police officer and he knows exactly, what's been going on in the Bahamas for forever. And so he came down from Nassau, flew in to Grand Bahama to investigate this the next day. And we're wondering, still waiting 2 weeks later, why wasn't there any other findings or announcements? And we do have someone who may have perpetrated this whole scene. I want you to watch it first, okay? Because I already showed the police saying that it was just an accident. It's no big deal. It's just an accident.
Scene compromise. And so let it continue to play.
On the ground, the record driver put it inside the car. There's blood on the passenger seat.
So right there, you see that little bit, that small, tiny bit of blood on the seat right there. That small, tiny bit. No blood on the dashboard, no blood on the floors, no blood anywhere. And that small little, I mean, it's almost like a little stain of dried up blood right there. None on the back of the seat that we could see, none on the dashboard, no blood on the airbags, no, nothing. So it's almost like someone could not been in here and bled out. We know that in accidents you could have internal injuries too, but from you see that, that should cause some suspicion.
It should.
And so go to the next video, which is driver's side. So look for the video on that same file that says driver's side.
Just an out. It's just an accident.
And so this was the owner vehicle looking in the vehicle, and we were filming. And so this one is called driver's side in that same file. So as you can see on the driver's side of the vehicle, there's no blood. None that we see.
Okay, let's pause there again. Why on the driver's side, and it's Link's car, and there's no blood? No blood. The car ran into a huge pole, iron pole, not the regular poles. Shouldn't you go like that, boom? Or the airbag will hit you, or the impact of the speed will cause the engine to come into you and break up your legs and snap you in two. Please tell us, please explain to us, because we need to know.
You can look for yourself. There's some keys there. That's the electronic keys, is a push button, which will normally be in his pocket. So we don't understand why that's on the seat. Unless someone else took the keys and they were maneuvering that car. Because Lynx would always keep that key in his pocket, because you can open the door by pressing the button without the key once you have the key on you. And so there's no way that that key should be there. All right? And so that's very curious. But as you can see, there's no blood on. This is the driver's side of the vehicle. The owner showed you the door and the seat and everything. You can see that there's no blood there. All right? And so that means that there's something else that happened. No blood on the back of the seat, the bottom of the seat, nothing. That's curious. And then this is the big one. You see where it is. On this side. Ooh. Just give me a sec, bear with me.
All right, so he has done his own
I
investigation.
want to show you the trunk, because the trunk has, okay, look for Link's trunk. Link's trunk, LYNX. And let's play that one. Alright. So that's the owner talking. He had a battery in there that was connected with cables, and they cut it.
I had a battery on it.
The battery's in the bush.
How did it get cut?
No, you got a small little battery?
Yeah, on that. The battery was
That's in the
on
bush.
Yeah, the battery.
I still in the backyard with Lincoln.
They put the battery in the bush.
I gotta pause it there. Why would someone cut a battery, an extra battery, that actually was in the back trunk, and throw it in the bush? If this was an accident, like it was reported 2 weeks ago by reporters of the Bahamas and a police officer who stood up in a live police report. Why haven't they come back to us 2 weeks later? Why they didn't even come back to us the week of? Because it happened, like, you know, on the weekend. They could come back to us on Wednesday. They could come back on us on Friday and give us this evidence. Why was the cable cut over the extra battery? The battery was thrown somewhere, like, you know, let's just throw the battery away. This just ain't making no sense. It's getting worse and worse.
I can walk around the front side. Yeah, we can walk around. We coming out right now.
Is this blood in the back trunk?
Okay, well, let's go. Well, let's go.
As you can see, it what appears to be blood in the trunk.
Look like blood in the trunk.
There's blood in the trunk, but I talk about trickle blood in the trunk. It just ain't making no sense.
And so
You just get it open yourself.
that's
How long this guy
disturbing.
work?
It's difficult to open that trunk.
Why that cut?
Oh.
Why this cut? I had a battery on it.
The battery's in the bush.
And so blood is on the left side
Oh,
of
you
the
smell the
trunk,
battery?
right where if you would place someone in there where their head would be.
Yeah,
But
battery. We
I
saw
sit
it.
in the
They
backyard
took
with
the wheel out.
Battery in the bush.
They took the battery out that was taking space and made a big space to put a big guy inside the trunk.
Yeah,
So
but-
clearly he could have been in that trunk. All right.
Okay, Mr. Bain isn't saying he was in the trunk. He said he could have been in the trunk. So my question that all of you should be asking now, where's the blood? Did he bleed out internally? Did he bleed out externally? I mean, if you have an impact like that, shouldn't you be pinned into the passenger, into the driver's side? And then when you see when Mr. Bain show you the head wounds, you'd be like, well, how do you get a head wound at the back? And how do you get it to the back of his head? So where did he bleed out? These are questions you need to ask, because if someone could go to this extreme to deal with someone, and then there's more evidence of him being in the restaurant, a bar, going from somewhere, and you stop to get a drink, you wearing your COI shirt, you campaigning late in the night to reach people, who just in different areas, which is the West End areas, and men could do that. It's fine by that. I did it. I campaign in bars, sit there and talk to people and let them know why we came. But now Mr. Bain has another footage with regards to, let me see what else he's saying here. All right. What police report, first of all? Where is it? Because you must be got it and the whole of the Bahamas ain't get it. I'm going to look through This Week and R News and Eyewitness News and ZNS News to see if someone came to show any of these reports. You all have to remember one thing. No matter how you may feel about Mr. Bain, he was still a police officer, went to study to be a lawyer. So you can't take that away from him at all. Okay? The question you should be asking is why the police didn't come with this.
Right? And so you come to your conclusion.
He didn't draw no conclusion. He's
How
just showing
they could
the
have-
evidence.
After seeing all of this, because there's pictures of the police, that I don't have time to play all the pictures, with the police at the scene. We don't know how the trunk was open, but they had the trunk open. So if you had the trunk open and the police was
Calvin,
there,
if we wait for the police to do what we got a qualified police in the COI as a COI leader, we have a qualified police, and that you got to respect. Now, if we compare how they operate, let's just say one of your grandchildren was killed or kidnapped and chopped up in small pieces like the 6 boys. I'm going to get the worst scenario because that's what happened, and I lived there when that happened in Grand Bahama. They probably used them for some voodoo seance and some psycho saying, oh, you got a mental problem. You got no mental problem. It's a choice to take someone's life and take the boys' life, the 6 boys. What if that happened? One of those boys was your boys. Wouldn't you get out there and scream and shout and carry on? Or you just can be quiet and say, oh, well, my good grandchild gone and 6 other boys gone. And so what now? You can just sit there and say nothing. Absolutely nothing. Let the police do what? If it wasn't for the community involved with trying to put the pressure on, they would have never found those 6 boys, okay? Just remember things like that. Okay, before you open up your mouth on my life. All right? You know the police they can be very negligent. Yet, how long you investigate? How long? What if he didn't come? We wouldn't have known this. Look at assassination just happened again in the United States. Less than 48 hours. Boom. They brought everybody together, including social media, who were looking out from every angle. And yes, some causing some havoc like you're doing right now.
You can see that there's something that looks like blood in the trunk. Aren't you curious that the tire was out of the trunk? But when other first responders came, they said the trunk was closed. And no one wanted to open it. Because that trunk has a special, the button for it wasn't working, so he put a cable behind the back seat, and you have to go to the back seat and pull that cable in order for the trunk to open. So if you don't know, only 3 people know how to open that. And so if you didn't know how to open that, it's very difficult. All right? So it's very curious. All right? Now, we were investigating everything, and we had reports that there was a black police Jeep, the one with the grill, and they said the Jeep was parked up right against the
Brian, I'm going to try to play this in entirety, and then we're going to come to where Lynx was before all this happened. Okay? I'm doing it backwards, just how Lincoln have it up. He's doing it. I'm going to show. You know, you said, couldn't it be that the deceased tried to protect himself from these guys and someone came behind him with the car wrench? Interesting. Someone came behind him with the car wrench. Let's just deal with the scene at hand, right? So how would they get into someone's car? And there's a special key, like Lincoln said. And if someone attacked him with the wrench, right, on that road. Now, we're just having a discussion. Of course, they probably won't leave the weapon. And wouldn't he be on the outside of the car, dead? Or shouldn't he be on the inside of the car with the crash that was actually, have you seen the car crash in for front crash? Not a topple over, a front on crash. They should be inside the car. Why did police find him? I mean, oh my God, this is ridiculous. Okay, but I want y'all to keep watching because I get more questions than I get answers, and I can say it again and again. 2 weeks later. So how long the police need to do to investigate this? Keep in mind, former police officer did it.
The back bumper of the rental car that was on the lamppost. Again, we don't know the truth to that, whether that is so or not, but that's from a credible witness. And they said one police person was there on their phone, texting or doing whatever, looking for a number, doing something on the phone. That's just a report, all right? And so we went looking for that police Jeep, and we found a police Jeep. It had some damage to it, but there's no way to confirm that that damage would have come from any recent accident, etc. But we're just showing it so that the public is aware that there is a black police Jeep. And so we don't have any evidence that that police jeep or persons driving that did anything malicious, but we can show you the jeep anyway. So go to the file, go to the file number 2, the other file, and look for police jeep. Look for police jeep in the other file. So the word is police jeep.
Just see everything first, and then we'll talk about
So again, the 8 Mile Rock police station has a police jeep like that. And if you look carefully, there's some damage to the front of this jeep, but it doesn't corroborate to me with the damage to the vehicle. And so I don't see much to it, but we're just putting that out there that there was a black police jeep, and we went and we found it. It has damage to the front, and we don't know what that means. All right. So with that said, the injury is to Lynx Jones. I want to thank the person who provided this for us. When we were there, they told us not to take any. They asked us, if we could not take any pictures or videos. But we want to thank the person who provided this. Because otherwise, you won't have any proof of anything.
exactly.
And so
Put it all out there. All of them
I want you
open.
to show the picture that says Lynx injury.
Oh Jesus, this is the part I can't take.
And so that's Lynx, and I don't know how close up we could get this, but he has a circular injury to the top of his head. And there's no way to get a circular injury to the top of his head in that kind of accident. All right? It's a head-on accident. And also in the back of his head, he has similar injuries. And also his head is, in the back, is severely swollen in areas. All right? And so to the back of his head, you can see they put a bed pad on there, like the blue bed pads that you put on the hospital beds underneath his head, because it doesn't bleed out there, or the blood stains. But in the back of his head, you can see the brain swelling. There's no injury to his face. All right? Just that injury to the top of his head. There's nothing in that car that could have injured the top of his head like that. And that circular injury right there in the zone, that's injury to the top of his head. And then the back of his head is swollen and has other injuries just like that. All right? And you can see to the back left side, you can see the swelling there. Someone hit it repeatedly in his head over and repeatedly to the back of his head. And then they went on the news and say, it's just a car accident. His face is normal, no cuts, no bruises. It's just like my face. His face is in perfect condition. Even airbags cause damage to your face. If you get hit with an airbag, you could get cut, scratch, burn. All kind of things happen when your face hits an airbag. There's no injury to his face.
Please explain that to wider
so,
public. It make no sense,
and
man.
so,
Make it make sense.
For police to come on that scene and see injury to the back of someone's head and on the top of their head, in the ground, and then say this is just a traffic fatality. something.
All right, so I'm going to
Something
forward
wrong.
it now. I'm going to forward it because it's too sickening. Absolutely sickening. This is how they investigate in the Bahamas. Now, so we're going to go back here a little bit, and he's
He's a
going to
big
talk
guy.
about the scene. Oh, well, actually, he was able to get footage, but yet it's been 2 more whole weeks, and I'm glad he put it out there. You know why? Because at least he gave them this information. But did they come back to say, well, 2 weeks later, the killers are not roaming around no more, Grand Bahama?
So, producer, play, drink. Play that video that says drink.
I'm just going to take my time today because you all have to see this, and we have to play this over and over
Yeah,
again.
producer, play the one that says drink in the second file.
How come the police couldn't find this evidence?
As you can see, that's the drink. It walks over to that side of the bar. I'm not saying anyone did anything wrong with it. Just look at it. And then take that same drink and if you drink is being prepared, walk over there with the drink. And then take the drink and put it in front of this guy that's right to the corner of the screen now. You can see half of his body in the white shirt, but it looks white on this black and white thing. And then she leaves the drink and walks back this way. She left it in front of that guy. And you can see he is shuffling around and doing whatever. The drink is in front of him. And then she comes back, takes up the same drink, and then beckons to Lynx, who is right there on the right out of the screen view. And she's standing there with the drink for Lynx, come for the drink. And so she puts it down now because he notices it, and Lynx is gonna walk up.
They're playing the right
Lynx is
song.
gonna walk up right now. Sit down. There he is. Sit down and drink the drink.
He's not sitting with anyone.
This is sometime after 1 in the morning, I think. And so around 1:30 or so. And so he picks up the drink and drinks it.
Okay.
Again.
I want to put it right there, right? That's why this is so important. Showing Lynx sitting there having his final drink. It was around 1. The police reported 6 o'clock. So between 1 o'clock, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good 5 hours, right? He get cracked up in the head. I won't say it like that. Well, I'll say brutally hit in the head with a wrench. As you saw the marks. And so, of course, who can survive that? That was premeditated murder, first degree. Who is going to survive that? No one. But where's the blood? That's what I'm asking. Where's all the blood? All of those wounds to his head. And sitting at the bar drinking. Why was the young lady putting his drink on the side for a couple of seconds whilst he's off having a conversation or alleged distracted? So obviously, if the drink have, let's just say the drink allegedly have some sleeping agent in it, right? that means he was so incapacitated that all he could do is just sit there and get his head bashed in. Because obviously, if Lincoln already didn't show y'all, there's not just the car skid marks by one car, but it's two cars. Where's all the blood? Where's the weapon? We see his head. He's not going to perpetrate showing y'all injuries just to the back of the head. And why is he only injured to the back of the head? So you have a lot of questions. So what's the problem? What's the problem? You can't ask questions? Because everything not adding up?
I don't think that bar lady did anything wrong. I mean, it did anything to his drink, but I would not, if I'm a bartender, put someone's drink in front of someone else. I wouldn't do that. And then walk off. So I don't understand what that mistake is. And that person was handling some white hand towel or something.
It was in the bed. That was in the bed. That's how they do it. But
so
we ain't got that kind of
angle.
That ain't that kind of bar.
And this angle, go to drinks too, and you'll see the same transaction, but from another angle behind the person that you couldn't see before. So that person sitting there is the person you couldn't see who was like kind of behind the fridge. So here you can see where she walks up, puts the drink down. There it is. The drink has been put down. And she walks up and leaves the drink there. And this guy is fiddling and doing whatever. Yeah, he's fiddling and with the drink. And she came back.
See, my thing is, why are you going to take some... I don't care what the guy doing. My thing is, I don't care what the guy doing, because anybody could slip anybody narcotic or something to incapacitate them to do whatever they got to do. Whether it's a rape or it's a premeditated murder or just knock them out cold so they could just have, I don't know, heart attack. Anybody could slip you something in your drink. My question I'm asking is, why the hell you gonna take somebody's drink? You see the man over there talking, but you can put it in front of another man. I don't give a shit what he doing. Okay? I know what I'm seeing with my eyes. And you put it there for a couple of seconds, then you go back over there, move the drink. Links ain't sitting with nobody. He ain't talking to that man about COI business. He ain't talking to the other man with COI business. He didn't talk to somebody. But you put the drink down in the center of the bar. Tell me now, how you explain that? That ain't bad etiquette. That ain't bad service. That's a deliberate act. And look at the girl. Or I already know her nationality. Okay? Lincoln ain't say it. I say it. I already found out her nationality. Okay? Grand Bahama, you better watch out who you're allowing to serve you, and y'all better watch out. Y'all going to these jooky places, little tiny bars popping up all over the place, fast food eating, and y'all know there's to hire certain people for cheap labor. Y'all better get smart. Because this here, what I see with my eyes, Lincoln ain't got to tell me how to think. Thank God he provided the information.
Back here and move the drink at that point, and then call Links for his drink. And you see the guy has some white thing in his hand. Now, there was a hand towel on top of his bare bottle.
It's tissue paper.
But we don't know, and we want the police to investigate. All right? And so that's where she thought Links comes over, because Links was there talking to him. He had him distracted, and he's trying to walk out, and the person stopped him again. But the person had him distracted, and now Links walks over to the drink, which he never should let anyone give him a drink that he doesn't see. But no, he's going to drink that drink. And so we have other footage of actually when he walks out of there, when he leaves. Again, there's more to it. I'm not gonna say everything in here. But based on everything we're seeing with all of the tire tracks, with the blood on the lamppost, what appears to be blood in the trunk, with blood on the front and the grill, I don't think much of that that black Jeep that we saw. You know, with the injuries that you just saw, how could they say that this is a traffic accident? That's shameful. That's shameful. That's shameful. Yeah. Someone's saying that that's a napkin. Yeah, we can see that's a napkin, but a napkin could have something in it. That, you know, because you're holding it with your hand, you could be cuffing. You look at it again. We don't know that happened, but
we can see what
to
happened.
be properly investigated. That's all.
Yeah,
All
properly
right?
investigated. 2 weeks later, and ain't nothing come back to the general public, okay? Nothing. We're still waiting. But y'all keep waiting, because y'all think that these people are not dangerous. There's the killers. That means whatever that girl was doing to the bar, that is definitely questionable. Whatever that other man was doing, why the drink had to go in front of him, that's questionable. The skid marks of cars on the road, very questionable. Where's all the blood? Where's the murder weapon? And how many people was involved? That's what we want to know. And that's what y'all should be asking yourselves. You're living in Grand Bahama. You're living in the Bahamas. You'll know what's happening. You'll see it with your eyes. No, he didn't show the part where the car, close the door, Pepe. He didn't show the part with the skid marks. I don't know where that is, right? But let's see if I can figure that out. I don't see it. Hmm?
Where is the oranges?
Go downstairs and get them in the kitchen, baby. Okay?
Okay.
I don't see the skid marks section. I don't know, it's supposed to be right in here too. So why were there more than just his skid marks? Why wasn't he in the passenger side? Why didn't the police come back and investigate to us after 2 weeks later? How long does it take to get an investigation going? I need to know that. Let me tell you, there was a recent assassination in the United States, and they did it in 48 hours. I don't give a crap. We live in the Bahamas. It should be way better than this. We should be getting way better service than this. Okay? We had enough of this crap now. The police is supposed to do due diligence before they even open up their mouth. They could say, yeah, an accident happened, as you can see. Everybody could see the car into the pole. There's a car into the pole. But we are suspicious that the things that we're saying doesn't coincide with the actual accident. Say something. Don't just leave it like that. If Lincoln didn't come down to show us this, then what?
If we're not,
Okay. All right. I don't see the part with where they actually had the car. That's in the news, actually. So I want y'all to look at this, right? I want y'all to look at our news. And we're not talking about the police at this moment. I'm coming back to deal with them. Let's go to our news first. And you're going to look at the position of the car, right? You're going to look at the position of the car. Let's see if I can find it, because a lot been going on. Like I say, I can go along YouTube and you will see, and you can do this too, see if there was any police report, investigation come back to you to tell you what happened to this man, because he ain't important. But he can be important because we're not going to let this die. You know, We're not gonna let this die. All right, I don't see the report they had with him. I don't see, yeah, it was right in this lineup of reports from the Bahamas. I don't see that, but everybody recall when I spoke to the fact that they show the car, they come up and they talk casual, and they say it's a, it's an accident, which is fine. But nobody do any further investigation. We waited for them. The accident happened on a Saturday because he obviously was out on a Saturday night campaigning in his COI t-shirt. And so we waited. Mr. Bain came in 24, 48 hours later, found footages in the bar, probably got more footage to show us. Probably show us the wounds of Mr. Lynx Jones' head. So if the car is into a pole, how come he ain't got the injuries here? That's what I'm trying to figure out. And you should be trying to figure it out also, okay? Let me see, news on Kirk. Let's just type in Kirk. I want to show you all the difference. That's why we don't trust anything in the Bahamas when it comes to the police, when it comes to investigation, when it comes to our election, because they are gangsters, and that's what I'm going to say, and I'm going to make not alleged gangsters, they're gangsters, because they want to keep the power. Quick shooting. Let's see if I can find the investigation. Let me show you how a real investigation is done. All right, so special investigation a day ago. How a real investigation is done. You show your force.
Of influential conservative activist Charlie Kirk, NBC News sources.
Mr. Lynx Jones was also an influencer. Okay.
Confirming a suspect is now in custody. He's been identified as Tyler Robinson, a 22-year-old man from Utah.
All this follows a massive manhunt in the wake of Wednesday's.
Even how they report, even though we may not like certain media houses, still they report it with urgency. I was looking for another one. This is the. Okay, let me get the one I was looking for. Look, urgency. They got everybody there. Sheriff, the man who runs the constituency.
We got him.
The FBI.
On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th. In which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th, in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in that conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger.
Family member turned him in.
Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate...
Anyway, my bottom line there is the man get assassinated, right? Good man, speaking up. Good family man. Mr. Kirk. Just like Mr. Lynx Jones got his accident looked more like murder. The difference here is Link accident happened almost 14 days ago. 2 weeks. They caught him, the perpetrator, the assassin. Well, of course, the family turned him in, as you can tell. But they had camera footage. They could tell you the car he was driving. They couldn't tell you who he was until the family turned in. But they made a big ruckus out of it. The police in the Bahamas couldn't even get footage. They get on and they start talking bubble, bubble, bubble. And there is a killer or killers, including the people who might have given them the instructions to do it. You don't see the police checking to see anybody coming in to do this assassination. I mean, this murder, because it is a murder. Any known felon coming in from the airport in the Bahamas. I mean, it's hard to check. It ain't that hard to check, honestly. You don't see them do that. You don't see the police come back yet. I check in the feed for the Bahamas. And when this happened, I see nothing. I see a thing showing me where they came back to report on our news. Maybe it's on a look on our news. I'm going to go to Eyewitness News, okay? Let me just make sure, because I will end soon by telling y'all how lousy our friggin' goddamn police in the Bahamas is, okay? That's what I want to. You see how Americans do it. Every time America sneeze, catch a cold, catch a COVID, and we're the same. We're supposed to be doing the same. Eyewitness News here. Let me see if there's anything in Eyewitness News. Let's see. Just a bunch of actors talking. They ain't got shit to say. Nope, absolutely. I don't see anything in the Eyewitness News to tell me. Eyewitness News 2025. Let me see anything. Nope, just entertainment news. That's it. I can't find it. It's easy to find these things. It's not hard. So I'll go back to our news to see if I can find anything to tell me the police came back to do a report on the death, and any death, and every death that probably happened over the summer. No, you don't find that. Not in the Bahamas. You don't find that at all. Now, we're not happy, and we're not happy with the caliber of police since this Davis administration came in, and that lukewarm F&M political party that don't do shit. Yeah, damn. We're not happy about it. So you got the last news was 6 days ago. Let's see, maybe it's in here. Maybe we can go, y'all can help me scroll through the news a little bit.
So handsome.
Let's find out what's been happening.
Oh, I can't buy that.
Well, of course, if there is.
And insult.
Oh, wait. See, this is all we get to hear on our news.
Family Island
Distraction.
step closer to getting new fire trucks and facilities to house them. The National Security Minister is on the record tonight with the next steps. And a local filmmaker creates a Bahamian superhero that's taken social media by storm. Our Daniel Miller shares his creativity behind the project. Our news, the weekend edition, starts right now.
Okay, so now here we have only politics. Yeah, we ain't coming talking politics. These are all distraction. This is all we get in the Bahamas, okay? See more politicians talking
Frustrated at the
nothing.
start of another
She
school year with
frustrated.
no principal.
Got a school here,
Meanwhile,
school
Barbara Rose says
principals,
it's a
and
process
still
to fill
ain't
these
happening in the
positions.
Bahamas. Full of shit. Just getting a fire truck. This is another shithead.
the purchase of the vehicles necessary.
Talking about fire trucks,
necessarily.
but he ain't
It's the
securing us, and he ain't bring
construction of
back
fire
the
sheds, the
Bahamians who got shoot in Haiti. Yeah, maybe by the police, but he is our security minister. They ain't doing shit. So I'm just looking to see if I can find any report.
God can use anyone from anywhere who is willing.
Pastor Johnson is...
Yeah, first you need to remove some people from political position because they ain't willing to
It's
be
real or
safe.
achievable.
But this
Nope. Sweep under the rug 2 weeks later.
was actually the first time the Youth Chess Olympiad under 16 was on this.
Okay, y'all could talk as loud as y'all want. Y'all still ain't get nothing done. Let me see this happen. Let me see when this news happened. 8 days ago. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. Not a thing. Oh, look, we can talk about guidance though. But the Prime Minister.
Fatally wounding them. The victims, one is in his early 30s, the other is in his early 40s. We are asking, as we have been asking the public to assist us in.
All right, so here we go again. Another narrative, bringing another woman. Skipping used to be the woman. Now she in charge. So they putting all the women in the front. They got Miss Knowles. She's the new commissioner of police in Grand Bahama. She ain't come up and she ain't say nothing yet. And that's all they do is bring these women forward. Yeah, I noticed they doing something different. They have the Bahamian flag on the side of their cap. That means nothing. Absolutely nothing. And you know the Bahamas is being run by gangs, murderers, thieves, corrupt politicians, yes, career politicians. You all saw the footage that Mr. Bain had put out there and did not come from the actual authorities, but thank God he has former experience being a former officer of the law of the Bahamas, yes, for 10 years, and studied the law, so he knows all the laws to deal pertaining when it comes to criminality now. There were too many perpetrators and a man's life cut short because what? That's what I'm trying to figure. Why would y'all want to kill links like that? Why would y'all want to set up a scene like that? So now the Bahamians going to ask questions from Miles Monroe's death to Don Sanders' death to Obie Wilscomb's death to every person who died in between Camille Bowe, Leroy Bowe's wife death. But everybody can question the police or how the police is be handling these cases. Why is it Fernando didn't do his job in the first tinger appointed by Davis? And then here comes Miss Knowles. She look like she gone in the shadows. She don't look like she know how to speak up when she could just pull people up and say, need to be answered by the public. She can't do that. You know why? She's appointed by Davis administration, the worst perpetrators in our country. So this is all we're going to hear. Report after report. Nothing substantial. Nothing to say, oh, look, we've caught the perpetrator. Not like how the United States caught the assassin. Not the alleged assassin, the assassin who assassinated a young American man. Nope, I don't see It was a month ago. It's a week ago. 10 days ago. I don't know, for some reason, I don't see the live feed information that was on 2 weeks ago. Let me see if I can find the
Our cars have
accident.
always had great range and great dynamics.
I just want to try to see if I can find the accident.
That you have in a typical crossover is something that's...
Nope. Just a bunch of suits talking. No real evidence, just read the script. Stay in line. Don't muddy the water. Don't call them out. You know, everything's running systematically, corruptly in the Bahamas as usual. Bring your old family, friends, and lovers to the scene. No, there's no report after 2 weeks later. Now, if the report comes in on Monday, fine. As far as we're concerned, there's no report. I don't see none. I can't find none. So now what do we have, Bahamas? So y'all say it's not a murder then. I guess Lynx just had a drink. Was campaigning for the COI. And he was driving along. And there are 4 skid marks in the road. Nobody could find the weapon, so he must be had something in the back of his car that hit him in the back of the head when he went forward with the force. Yeah, we need to make sense. It's cold-blooded murder. That's all I can see. So that means, let's just say he wasn't drugged, right? Let's just say he had a drink, his usual non-alcoholic drink. And let's just say they were waiting to ambush him when he came out of the bar. So how his car got into that accident? Where's the blood? Where's the blood? This ain't make no sense. So we still have it on us like every other case. Elaine, I think, according to Mr. Bain, he won't be buried in the usual time in the Bahamas. He won't be buried until October. So we have the month of September and sometime in October. So the family probably is going to be getting an independent study on his injuries. They have enough pictures, footage, videos, so we're going to have to wait. But in the meantime, Elaine, there's a murderer or murderess running around right there in the settlement of Grand Bahama, especially in the Freeport, in the West End, Grand Bahama section. This ain't making no sense. You have some cold-hearted people running around in Grand Bahama right now. And that's how we have to look at it. And that's why we need the public to be vigilant and speak to each other. Talk about this case. Do not let it die. Go into the police station. Demand to see the Commissioner Knowles. Because this monotone monologue, talking and only talking to the news and not talking to people. There's no town meetings to say what happened, why it happened. There's too many gaps in the story. I'm sure Mr. Bain isn't going to make up something like this. I'm sure of it. Okay? Something needs to be done. He is not the only person whose case has gone unanswered. I'm going to leave Mr. Leroy Bowe. Camelia Bowe. Leroy Bowe's wife. The man cried out from 2021 to say the police didn't do a correct report. But they forget him. It's almost 4 years later. So we got to be vigilant. This ain't no play. And ain't nobody backing down. And ain't nobody scared of no friggin' criminals, gangsters, the politicians, career politicians. Nobody's scared of none of them. They can make up all kind of charades, take the whole summer carrying on. Like election, like right here. But election is here. Because people getting sick and tired of their performance. Alright, that's all I have to say now on Lynx. I will come back and keep the foot to the fire on the police, the immigration matter, anything that I can put there in the forefront, because somebody have to keep speaking up for the Bahamians in the Bahamas.